What's up, world? You know who it is. You know what I do. Anyway, I ain't gonna waste a lot of time. Let's get right into it. What we're looking at right here is Google Earth. You know, I love to be on Google Earth. And as somebody else pointed out, I'm infatuated with Antarctica, and I'm about to show you why I have been. This is Australia, as you can see. If we scroll down here, we all know like Australia is getting bombarded with storms right now. It's pushing all the way up into Asia. Japan, China, all them are getting bombarded with storms right now. Africa is all getting bombarded with storms right now. It's coming off Africa and pushing up into the western United States. We're getting bombarded with hurricanes and storms and crazy flooding. Now, snooping around all along the coast of Antarctica on Google Earth, because if you go to AccuWeather, which I'm going to show you that again for the third time in the third video here in a minute, if y'all ain't been paying attention, but you can see all along the coast of Antarctica in the AccuWeather satellite where the storms are coming off and just pushing up into all the countries that I just named off to you. Now, as I'm going around on the coastline of Antarctica looking, I'm finding all of these ionosphere probes, which are the same things that they used in the Alaskan HAARP facility, which has already been proven to be weather modification tools. And these things are lined all down the coast. I got visual proof of them right here off of Google Earth. This was just a glimpse compared to the pictures I'm gonna show you. Like, you can see lines and lines and rows of these things, and they stretch out into the water, and they all are attached to these little globes, them big white globes that you just saw a second ago. And these things are all down the coast of the Antarctic. Now, if you was wondering why you wasn't allowed to go there, this is probably why, because this is where they're orchestrating this shit from, and nobody's allowed to be there no more. You can see again here, look up there and you see the white globe, and when we pan around somewhere close in the area and you zoom in, you will see just towers of the ion. There they go, the ionosphere probes. That's what those are. And a lot of areas, they stretch all the way out into the water, like I said. And all of these storms are coming right off of the AccuWeather satellite. It's a USA satellite. You can go on there and see it for yourself. The whole Antarctic stretches across the bottom. They pretty much just show the coast and all the storms, and it even looks like they're pulsating on the live satellite feed. It looks like they're pulsating out of Antarctica. And then you can see all these probes. There's probably another 2 minutes worth of just different spots. I'll go out and go to a different location on the coastline, zoom in, boom, there'll be more of them. Go out, zoom into another one, boom, there'll be more of them. It's just all along the coast of Antarctic. That's probably why all them people have been visiting there recently and going there to gawk and awe at the massive facilities. Because far as I'm understanding, I might be wrong, but from what I'm understanding, these haven't been updated since 2012. And that kind of makes sense because in 2013 or 2014, I believe, the Alaskan HAARP facility closed down. Now, I can't see them closing down a facility like that without having something in mind for a backup plan. So it makes sense if this was 2012 when these were updated, that was the construction of them being built. I'd be interested to see what they got going on now, but obviously we're not going to give photos of that because they have scrubbed out base areas on here that we can't even get access to. So that tells you the secrecy among thieves when it comes to that. Look, you can see up in the distance up there another ball. It's just everywhere they have those tower things, they have those round white balls, and they even have a big one that floats around in the water. I mean, if people aren't starting to wake up to this by now and realize that something is going on. I mean, part of Antarctica is there's an island called Rothschild Island. Now, that doesn't tell you how rich and powerful these people are. and what they own and what they can do. In Antarctic, a place where nobody's allowed to go, 33 countries or some shit like that have a treaty, to not be there without each other's permission, not do this, not do that. But one family, a Rothschild family, has an island named after them there. And you can see more towers, rows of them here. You see the little white ball in the background. Everywhere you see these probes. And these are all along, these are all different areas I'm showing you. I've been saying this for like a month and a half now, that something is going on in Antarctica and it's causing everything that's going on right now in the States and in these other countries. And they got us so distracted with Kim Jong-un or whatever the fuck his name is. Man, leave that dude alone. He's not bothering nobody. These storms are bothering people. 40 million people so far in one country have been affected by these storms.
Breaking news now, we have yet another named system in the Atlantic, Tropical Storm Lee, just named minutes ago here. It's 40-mile-per-hour winds moving west at 12 miles per hour. So this is now Tropical Storm Lee. Again, was forecast to become a tropical storm, but right now the forecast is for only a tropical storm and not to become a hurricane. And when you put Lee and put the spaghetti models on it, again, it starts to move into the area of more shear, and it starts to pull farther north and keep it away from the Lesser Antilles. That's the good news with Lee.
Hurricane Norma is in the Pacific now, moving to the north at just about 2 miles an hour, just creeping along there. Winds now are up to 75 miles an hour, and we're going to be watching where this storm ends up. Looks like it's going to make an assault on Baja, but not much of one. The winds are 70 miles an hour by Monday, Tuesday down to 60. It looks like it's going to make a little loop-de-loop there, right just to the west of Baja, so we're not too concerned about its impacts at this point. The good news is most of its rainfall is going to stay offshore as well, except for La Paz. They could pick up as much as 5 to 8 inches of rain over the next few days. Tropical Storm Lee and potential Tropical Storm Maria. Those are two things we're watching. Now, Maria hasn't been named yet. I'm kind of jumping the gun a bit, but it does look like we're going to see Maria, if not by the end of the weekend, by the beginning of next week. So let's take a look at what we have here. This is potential Tropical Cyclone 15, winds at 35 miles an hour. At 39, it will become a tropical storm. We'll have to watch that. When moving to the west at 20 miles an hour, there is nothing about this track that I like because those areas have already been raked by Irma last week. Let's move on and take a look at what we're expecting as far as names are concerned. We've already got our Lee storm. Now we're looking at Maria, and that's the one we just talked about. As far as Lee is concerned, it looks like it's going to make its way into the mid-Atlantic. We're not too concerned about that one right now. We'll keep an eye on it, though, in case more development is possible. Hurricane Jose continues in the Atlantic. Winds now 80 miles an hour, moving to the west, kind of northwest at 9 miles an hour. Question is, where is it headed? And it looks like all the models are pretty much in agreement here that this storm is going to be pushing its way right up the northeastern coast of the U.S. This is going to be a close shave, folks. As a matter of fact, it looks like Cape Cod, Nantucket, those areas could be experiencing tropical storm force winds as we go into Wednesday morning. The winds are down to 70 miles an hour, so it doesn't look like this is going to be a hurricane. More likely this is going to be a tropical storm across that area. Could be some rainfall. There's not going to be a lot of it because most of the rain's going to be offshore. 2 to 3 inches possible, though, in Nantucket, 1 to 2 inches in Boston. And you're going to get the winds from Cape Hatteras all the way northward up to Nantucket as we go through Wednesday. You could see those winds in the tropical storm force range and then gusting above tropical storm force. The surf is going to be a problem, too. This is not the weekend to go to the beach. Keep it inside. There's been a lot of rain and wind across the area of Okinawa in Japan because of Typhoon Telem. It has dumped quite a bit of rainfall too, and this guy's managed to find an amphibious moped. Okay, whatever it takes. The good news is it looks like Telem is going to be diminishing in strength as we go through the next couple of days as it makes its approach to Japan, and that is some very good news. By Sunday, you're looking at the winds down to 65 miles an hour. Monday, it's headed out of the Japanese islands and actually into parts of Russia. The winds are 50 miles an hour. Not even finding very many gusts here to hurricane force. To get to Hamamatsu, they might see the winds pick up a little bit on Saturday and early Sunday. The big thing here is going to be the rainfall of Fukuoka could pick up as much as 8 to 12 inches. It's going to be kind of rainy in those southern islands. Get up to Tokyo, a bit more moderate, maybe 1 to 3 inches there. Sapporo picking up about 3 to 5 inches of rainfall.
Now, the latest breaking news is on this. This has been a new product from the National Hurricane Center this year. Potential Tropical Cyclone 15. Right here. We've been talking about, we thought this was going to be Lee. This is probably going to be Maria. And, 12 hours, I think, 24 at the most, but definitely within the next 12 hours, we have a definite chance of this becoming a named system. Again, that name would be Maria. Remember that. That is something we have to watch very closely. Right now, moving west at 22 miles per hour. So it's hauling pretty quickly, which is not good news. Here's the actual path of this, becoming a tropical storm over the next 24 hours. A strong tropical storm by Monday. By Tuesday, this is a hurricane. Definitely late in the day on Monday. And guess where it's moving through? An area that was devastated by Irma about a week to 10 days ago. Now it's dealing with yet another hurricane, a strong and strengthening hurricane as we head on towards the beginning of this coming week. And then it continues to move across the British and American Virgin Islands on towards Puerto Rico as we head on towards late Wednesday into Thursday as a Category 2 hurricane. And you got to remember, if you look at our geography, once we get past Hispaniola, got the Dominican Republic, and then Haiti, Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, Cuba, we open up. Does it enter the Gulf? Does it impact the east coast of the U.S.? What's going to happen? Huge question marks in terms of impacts here in the U.S. I'm talking areas of the Gulf ravaged by Harvey, areas of the southeastern Florida ravaged by Irma, could be dealing with now Maria, maybe even a Cat 2, Cat 3 or stronger hurricane as we head on towards this time next weekend. So I hate to be the messenger, but the message is be prepared for yet another.
You heard the man. He hates to be the messenger, but the message is be prepared for another go-round. Right after Harvey, right after Irma, now we got Norma, Maria, Jose, Lee. We got typhoons, monsoons, Africa's being hit, the United States is being hit, Asia's being hit, Australia's being hit. And look, you can see, here's the AccuWeather satellite. It's all coming off of the Antarctic and pushing up. You can't make this stuff up. It's right here. It's right here. You can't make this stuff up. And yet nobody is asking questions. Nobody's believing this. I don't understand. Seem like this information, this message should be getting pushed to the maximum, to the fullest. Stop being distracted by sports highlights and who's fucking who and just all the dumb shit that's on TV. The North Koreans who ain't bothering nobody. The United States and Japan are flexing on them, demonstrating military exercises right on their border like a show of force. And then you don't think he's not going to fire back and poke his chest out a little bit? Like, imagine somebody standing outside of your doorstep screaming obscenities at your house and calling your kids and your family names. And, you're not going to retaliate? You're not going to do nothing? You can't blame that guy. The real questions we should be asking are what these people doing out here in Antarctica, as you can see the chemtrails in the sky and the red crazy colors blotching out the sun. Then they got the ionosphere probes all down the coast sending frequencies through. I mean, it's time to start asking questions. Why are the satellites showing these massive storms coming off of Antarctica and all these countries being bombarded, millions of people being put in predicaments that they can't get out of? Like, it's time to start asking the real questions. Turn the TV off and turn your brains on, please.